Okay, day 41 of the suffering. It is Saturday. My son's birthday was yesterday. He just turned 6, my youngest kid. So he wanted to go to the lakes. So we're at the lakes on Saturday for his birthday. So I want to get some swimming in. I don't do cardio on Saturdays. Those of you who know, like watch, y'all know. So I don't do cardio on Saturdays or Sundays. So I'll be out in the water today, still getting cardio. Just like last week, went to the water park. I was climbing up and down stairs for a while to get to the top of the slides and the rides. Still doing cardio. It's indirect cardio, but it's still cardio. I got my food with me. I got my backpack here. My brother actually gave this to me for Christmas one year. It's a little backpack, and it's actually insulated. So I got all my food in here. I got everything I need in there. I don't have to worry about ever going without. This is my travel buddy. Like I said, I'm very grateful for my brother for getting that for me. He got it for Christmas one year. I didn't think I needed it until he got it for me, and it's come in handy. Every time I'm on a diet, this goes everywhere with me whenever I leave the house. But this is basically going to be my whole day right here, hanging out at the lake, swimming with the kids and my wife and friends and family. And then we're still going to get to the gym tonight at 4 o'clock. We're still going to train to get our hamstrings in. It's just, we're going to be a little bit more tan tonight when we get there. I'll see you guys at 4 o'clock in the gym. Well, back from the lakes, and we're in the gym again. It's 4 o'clock. Tonight's different than most nights because it's hamstring night. So we're doing 3 warm-ups and 1 set on everything we do tonight. It's not 2 warm-ups and then a set, then 1 warm-up, then a set, then just a straight set. We take our time going into this. Last week I did 65 for 12, so tonight I'm doing 70 for 12. Hope you guys like the shorts. Who wears short shorts? I wear short shorts. It's my swim trunks. It's my super. This shirt used to be so baggy on me, or not baggy, but it used to be so tight. And now I'm like swimming in it. I feel like a little kid wearing his dad's clothes. So let me hike these up so y'all can get a better view of what's going on back there. Woo, man, it's been a good day. It's been a real good day. I know I got some color on me because my skin feels tender. Let's see if I can get this now. Man, this hat's getting in the way. Problem is, my legs stick to this damn thing. Amazing. 5 pounds heavier and I get 4 less reps. That's the way it is, man. Like, it's amazing what 5 pounds can do whenever you're doing it slow and controlled like that. Still a win no matter how you cut it. It's not as much reps as I thought I was going to get, but you know what? It's fine because that means next week when I come in, I have something easy to hit and beat. Okay, last week I did 200 for 12. So that's 95. This is 205. I think I'm going to go 210. I did 200. So I'm going to go up 10 pounds tonight on it. Reason why we're working on the little rack is because the girls were on the bigger rack. It's the first time I've used this rack in months, many months. We're actually going to be getting rid of this rack. And we're going to be getting something different. We're talking about getting rid of this and possibly getting rid of that rack too, because I don't really do squats. The only thing this is used for is holding the bar to do Romanians, barbell rows, straight bar curls. That's the only thing these are used for because we don't squat no more. So probably going to get rid of these two, get rid of this platform, get a high pull with the incline press combo, a decline iso press, the seated rower, 1-arm rower, and then rearrange this some so we get a dip machine and see what else we can fit on here, because bodybuilding is the goal and longevity. because if I get that seated ISO rower, I won't be doing barbell rows no more. Everything that I'm doing is for longevity. In fact, I was thinking about long and hard. I think whenever I'm done with this cut, come July, end of July, beginning of August, I'm going to go back to training 16 sets, doing higher volume, less intensity. Just thinking about all the guys that got hurt and career-ending injuries from doing high intensity. High intensity is great, but me, I know my limits and my boundaries, and I got a lot of injuries, and I got a lot of old injuries. And training like this is good for a little short duration of time for me, but long term, especially when I stop doing cardio and I start eating more, my strength is going to start going up really, really aggressively, and that's where I'll end up getting hurt. So doing higher sets, higher reps, that is what's going to keep me injury free. So equipment like this, I love it. It's beautiful, but it just doesn't have a place for my training anymore. As much as it will hurt to get rid of them. I've had this rack for almost 14 years, 14, 15 years, but end of era. You know, and yes, there's nothing wrong with barbell rows. There's nothing wrong with squats. There's nothing wrong with deadlifts. I love them and I've had my share of them, but I know what happens to me in the long run whenever I do them and I start getting strong at them. Things start going really, really wrong. My weights are really light right now because I'm in such a deficit doing cardio. I could get away with doing movements like this because I'm not lifting heavy. But man, I tell you what, doing 210 on Romanian deadlifts versus doing 315 on Romanians is a completely different animal. Just like barbell rowing 200 pounds versus barbell rowing 315 is a different animal. Take 9. I would have liked 12, but you know what? It's okay. Like I said, I'm in a deficit. I'm doing a lot of cardio. Can't handle the volume with the heavy loads like I used to. Plus, I was out in the water all day in the sun since 10 o'clock. So I'm kind of a little dehydrated. I drank water, but I didn't drink enough water. Got my food in, but being out in the sun and being on the water, it'll take it out of you. But no excuses. No excuses. Just hard work and getting it done. Tried and true back extensions after Romanians. This is such a good move to do after Romanian deadlifts because it's a very deep stretch. So if you think of it like this, doing a leg curl, you're curling the hamstrings, right? And then doing a Romanian, you're bending the hip and the knee, getting a good stretch. Well, this is the stiff movement where you're keeping your knees locked and you're just hinging at the hips. So you're getting 3 different planes of motion on the same muscle. So you're getting a contracting, you're getting a partial stretch, and then a full stretch of the movement of the hamstring, the glutes, and the hips. So it's just all around every possible like angle you could do for your hamstrings. And again, my legs are one of those muscles that just grow regardless of what I do. So I'm probably the worst person to take advice for how to grow your legs because they just grow for me. But it's one of those things, I know what makes my legs grow, so I stick to those basic things. Romanian deadlifts, back extensions, leg curls. And then for my quads, it's belt squats, hack squats, leg extensions, and some lunges. Now, I wish my arms responded like that, but they don't. So take it for what it's worth. I could tell you guys all day long how to get big legs and big quads, but I mean, explain to me why Tom Platt's legs are so beautiful, but his arms are lagging. Not saying he had bad arms, but in comparison. And on this, what I'm doing is I'm arching the back. Well, my version of an arch, which isn't very much. And then I'm allowing my hips to pull out of socket. Imagine your hip pulling out of socket is the analogy that I use for whenever I'm down here. I'm basically letting the weight of my upper body pull my hips real hard, which is stretching my hamstrings dramatically with an arched back. If you allow your back to round, it takes the stretch away. If you keep your back flat or arched, it's going to get a much bigger stretch in the hamstring. And then whenever I come up, what I'm doing is I'm driving my hips through the pad. I am not pulling with my back. I do not pull with my back. What I do is I drive my hips through the pads. That is the cue that I give people. Ooh, you okay? Okay. Don't lift and pull with your back. Drive your hips through the pads. If you drive your hips through the pads, you're going to engage your glutes and your hamstrings so much more aggressively than what you would if you just pulled with your back. And here's the thing too, I don't know if you guys are realizing this, but I'm not hyperextending. I am coming here and stopping, trying to be flat parallel to the floor, like a plank, okay? You do not need to hyperextend and do some silly stuff like this. That is not necessary. And that is not going to accomplish anything. All that's going to do is tweak your lower back and cause issues. Now, some people can get away with that, and that's fine, that can. But in my experience, whenever I'd hyperextend like that, all I end up doing is just getting severe back pain. Not severe back pain, I'm being a little dramatic. But I would get stiffness in my lower back, and it'd get tightness, and I'd feel super uncomfortable, and I would not feel it in my hamstrings, my glutes. I would feel it in my lower back. So if you want to hit your lower back, then by all means go ahead and do that and lift with your back and not with your hamstrings. But if you're wanting to engage the glutes and the hamstrings and develop the back of your legs, thrust your hips through the pads. Do not race. Do not sling your body up and down like a fish out of water. Do not sit there and flop around, and then don't hyperextend your back. And when you come down to this position, I am not just dead hanging freely. I am holding the tension in my hamstrings by arching my back. So by slowly coming down and keeping my back arched or flat, however you want to view it, it's technically flat, but imagine arching your back and then coming up to a flat position. I am keeping the load 100% on the hamstrings the whole entire time. And then whenever we come out of the hole right here, we fire with the glutes by pushing them through the pads. And this is the way I like to get that stretched movement for the hamstrings and the glutes. And I'm going to call it at that. Now, do you have to go until you can't go anymore? No. Got a little lightheaded. It happens. Let me shake that off for a second. Do you have to go until you can't go no more? No. Do you have to go until everything burns like fire? No. Should you? That's up to you. Sometimes I like to go until I can't even lift myself up, but I don't do that every week. I'll do that maybe once a month. Then every other time, I try to get a comfortable 1 to 2 more reps. So if I get 15, next week I try to get 16 or 17, and I stop. The next week I'll try to get 18 or 19, and then I'll stop. I don't just continuously try to get as many as I can. The goal is 20 reps on every set. Well, first it's 10 reps with all 4 sets, and then 11 to 12, then 12 to 13, then 14 to 15. Now, obviously, the first 2 to 3 sets, you're going to get them all. It's that last set that those reps are going to fall, and that's the one you want to get up because it's going to be the last one to bring up to that rep range. Once you hit that rep range for all the sets across, then go up to 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Grab a plate. Get a band, put a band around you, put a chain around your chest or something. You can add load, grab a barbell, grab a dumbbell, set the foot pad down lower and go to a 45 and use the barbell. There's a lot of ways you can do this. And if you don't want to do that, then just change out the stiff-legged deadlifts where you're stiff the whole entire way, all the way down, but not a lot of people can handle that movement, and it hurts a lot of people's back. This, on the other hand, it allows you to do that in a much safer way. Oh man, lunges are one of those movements. They're brutal all on their own, let alone having something on your back. And then on top of that, they're just one awesome leg workout, man. I don't think there's a more natural, complete leg workout than these. I am exhausted right now. Today wore me out. Okay. What I do with these is my back leg, I try to push the knee back. I don't try to stand up with the forward knee. I try to push the back knee back and up because that gets the hamstring more. If you push off the front foot, you're going to end up engaging the quad, which is inevitable. It's going to happen. You can't avoid it. But by pushing up on that back leg, pushing that knee backwards and up, it engages that hamstring and that hip so much more than if you just walked with these. Now, walking is great, and pushing through the heel and the toe will get your groin and the inner thigh and the outer sweep and the hip adductors and the hip flexors and all that great stuff. And I just kneeled down on something that hurt really bad on my knee. That was brutal. Oh, it's still on my fucking knee. Whew. How about pushing the leg that's back, driving that knee back? Oh my God. It's a pebble or something. I don't know what this one is. I think that's 20. Kind of on my fingers. It's 21. 22. Okay. Like I said, you push this leg that's behind you, drive the knee back and up, back and up, back and up. It's going to get your hamstring. If you push off the one forward, obviously it's going to get your quad, your outer sweep, teardrop groin. So it just depends on where you want to feel it. If you push through your heel versus the ball of your foot, it's going to feel different. If you step with your foot out where your knee is behind your foot, you're going to get more hamstring and glute. If you allow your knee come way out over your toe, you get way more quad engagement. If you're pushing on the front foot, push off the back foot. The longer you're stretched out, the more you're going to engage. Just play with it. See what feels best for you. That's tough. Now I gotta go put this thing back up. See that small rack that I have in the gym I was telling y'all about? Whenever we get that gym equipment, that new gym equipment, I'm probably going to put that outside in front of my garage. So that way I'll have something to put this on and rack this bar out here and load the weight. So when I want to do outside walking lunges, I'll have something out here to do it with, because that was a cheap rack anyways. I don't want to get rid of it. I'm just going to repurpose it out here for days I feel like doing lunges out here, or maybe any other type of movement I want to do with a barbell out here, and go from there. This is it for today. As far as it goes for the workout, I'm not going to do lunges. I'm not going to do calves, because I do a lot of Stairmaster, I've said many times. And then also, I work those out on Wednesday, and I'm not trying to overstimulate my calves. I'm just trying to get them to where they hang out. I don't want them to go away and atrophy. So, and The reason why I'm not training my calves on this day either is because I do so much work on the Stairmaster, and then doing quads and hamstrings also engages, walking around engages, and they just start getting really tight, and they start to get crampy, and then I start feeling like something's about to pop or tear in them, and I don't like that feeling. Here's also a pro tip. If you have your own gym, or you go to a commercial gym, these are wood clamps. These are just spring gauge wood clamps you could get any hardware lumber store. I think they're like $2. And that's what we use for our collars. Easy on, easy off. Especially if you want to load another plate. They'll move if you bang them, but they won't walk as long as you're not doing some crazy, stupid stuff. Probably not best to use them on like deadlifts off the floor, but you can use them on pretty much any other movement, and it'll hold them on there just fine. So that's what we use. I mean, we have screw collars, and we have spring collars, and then we have these. But these are by far probably my favorite. But anyway, so I'm not training my calves, and I got plenty of calf work with that. I know it's injury. Like, that's not calf work. You're just copping out because you don't want to train them. No, that's not true. I love training calves. And once I'm done with this cut, and I can stop doing so much cardio, I will be training my calves twice a week. I'll be doing the seated calf raise and then standing calf raises on here with a dip downhill, and then flat calf raises with dumbbells. And then maybe eventually we'll get a standing calf raise machine, or maybe a Smith machine, because we use a Smith machine for everything we use for these. And then some, like standing calf raises, behind the back shrugs, whatever else. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go get my protein shake. That was a good workout, given the fact that I was out in the sun all day, in the water, swimming, floating around, swimming, floating around, in and out the water, up and down the docks. Didn't drink enough water today, that's for sure. I could feel it. I could definitely feel it. My skin is tender. I didn't put sunscreen on for the first hour when I was out there at the lakes because I've been tanning, so I have a good base tan. Last time we went out to the beach, I put sunscreen on and I didn't get any color. So this time I was like, I'm going to wait an hour, hour and a half, and then I put sunscreen on the rest of the time. But that was enough to get me tender. I don't think I'm burned. I think I'm just a little pink, and it'll darken up by Monday. But given that I was out there, I got all my food in like I'm supposed to. I brought everything, and I ate what I was supposed to eat. And I tried to drink enough water. I just think I felt a little bit shy. I think I was sweating a lot more than what I realized I was sweating, but I didn't let it affect my workout. And my blood pressure, yesterday we checked my blood pressure, and it was like 101 over 76, I think, 102 over 76. And my blood pressure is coming down real low. And I notice I get lightheaded a little bit here and there. I get like a little dizzy, like a little lightheaded. And I wonder if that's because my blood pressure is getting so low, because like I'm used to having higher blood pressure, like 120 to 130 is what I've been at for a long time. And then I was elevated up to the mid 140s, high 130s. And then, but every time I get it to come down, I'm always floating in the 120s. And now I'm like right at the 100s. So I'm wondering if that has something to do with me getting lightheaded so much lately. I don't get lightheaded all the time. It's not like it's a occurring thing, but like if I stand up too fast, if I'm laying down and sit up, or if I'm sitting down and I stand up too quick, I'll get lightheaded. But if I'm up and moving around, I'm fine. I could go down and come up plenty, but if I stand up too quickly, the lightheaded definitely gets me. I'm going to say that workout was an 8 out of 10. And the reason why I say 8 out of 10, I didn't have any knee pain on lunges like I did last week. I didn't have any hip issues or back issues. Everything felt wonderful. Everything felt good, but I didn't get a pump like I was wanting to get, which I already kind of knew it was going to happen this way. So I didn't achieve the pump that I wanted. And then I couldn't keep my hamstrings engaged as hard as I wanted to on Romanians or on lying leg curls. So that's why I give it an 8 out of 10. Other than that, everything on the workout was really good. I feel like there's room for improvement. I feel like there's a massive room for improvement. I was moving a little slower today too. Instead of going a minute between my warm-ups and then 2 to 3 minutes on my top set, I was going about 2 minutes between my warm-ups and about probably 3.5 minutes on my excuse me. three and a half minutes on my working sets. And so it was a little bit slower pace, man. I'm definitely feeling fatigued. I was off yesterday, and I was off today. But yesterday was pretty busy because it was my son's birthday, and today was also really busy because we were out doing stuff for his birthday. So it's been a busy 2 days. Not busy like I'm working and I'm going hardcore nonstop without anything, but it's definitely taking its toll on me, man. I could definitely feel the lack of sodium and the lack of calories, man. I get by the time Friday, Saturday rolls around, man, I am so beat. And I changed my mind day to day on what I want to do whenever I'm done with this cut, which is either going to be the end of July or the end of August. I hope I hit my goal by the end of July. If I don't hit my goal in the end of July, I'm going to keep on pushing with the cut, but I'm going to change some things up. I'm more than likely, I was thinking about it today. Everybody does high intensity training, high intensity. Not like what I'm doing. I do 8 to 12 reps. Most people do like 5 to 9 reps, 5 to 8 reps, high intensity. They'll do like drop sets or rest pause, and they really push the envelope with one really hard set with a rest pause or a drop set or something like that. And that's a great way to train if you can handle it and your body can handle it. I'm fortunately in such a deficit, and I'm getting such little calories and doing so much cardio that I can't push heavy enough weight to injure myself. Let me rephrase it. I can injure myself easily. I've proven it time and time again. I could get hurt for the easiest, littlest, stupidest things. But it's a lot harder to get injured when you're using lighter weights with a full range of motion, with a slow negative, and a hard peak contraction, taking your time on the sets, doing 8 to 12 repetitions. It's a lot harder to get injured because you're being more controlled, more methodical, and you're not slinging and whipping and heaving and hoeing stuff up. But once my calories start to go back up and the cardio comes down, my strength is going to start coming back rapidly. And once it comes back, that's where injury happens. So the whole reason why I changed up my training, because I loved doing DC training. If you guys don't know what DC training is, go look it up. It's basically you do one exercise per body part per workout. You train half the body twice a week on Monday and Friday. What you don't train Monday, Friday, you do Wednesday. Next week, what you train on Wednesday, you train Monday, Friday, and then what you train on Monday, Friday, you do Wednesday. And then you do one movement. So we'll say, let's say dumbbell press for chest on Monday, and then Friday you'll do incline dumbbell press, and then on let's say Wednesday next week you'll do like dips or whatever. And then, but every single time you come in, you do rest pause, and you try to get more reps with the same weight or more weights if you can't get the reps. So you're always pushing up. And then once you can't go any further and you can't get any more reps or weight, and the reps or the weight starts to come down because you hit your peak, you change that movement out for something completely different. It's a awesome program to do. But the problem is it's super easy to get hurt doing that, especially as you get older and you already have pre-existing injuries. So anyway, so that's a super high intensity training that I love to do. Same thing for what I'm doing right now currently, but normally I would do it between 6 to 8 reps and not 8 to 12 reps. So the game is long. It's a long road. It's not overnight process. It's long, and longevity is the secret. That's the way to go, right? I'm not getting no younger, and I want to be working out when I'm 80, 90 years old if I live that long. Who knows? I could have a heart attack tomorrow and die. I could get into a car wreck and die. There's a lot of things that could happen to me. I could have a stroke. I could have an aneurysm. I get cancer. There's so many probabilities that could happen that can kill me before I even make it to 50, let alone 80. But if I do make it to 80 and I do make it to 90, I still want to be able to work out, and I still want to be lifting and training and keeping up with myself and taking care of myself. Look at Lou Ferrigno, right? Look at Arnold. I mean, like, these guys are in their late 70s, 80s, and they're still training. I mean, that's what I want. And in order to do that, I have to preserve my body. And doing high intensity and looking at all the guys that got hurt and all the pros that got hurt and all the pros that switch from high intensity to high volume and higher frequency are the ones who last the longest. I mean, look at Lee Haney, right? Well, Ronnie Coleman blew his back out from lifting so incredibly heavy on such a big deficit and getting ready for Mr. Olympia, and that's why he got hurt. Unfortunately, it's so unfortunate what happened to him. It's such a shame, man. I wish that never happened to him, and he was living a very fulfilling life with no pain and got to enjoy his older years without having to be under those loads. But anyways, like Flex Wheeler, Lee Priest, I'm drawing a blank. Oh my God, I can't even think of it. I just want to tell you, Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman even did moderate volume. He did a lot of high intensity, but he was back and forth on it. Tom Platts, Arnold, Lou Ferrigno. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank on so many people. Relevant. Anyway, so like Lee Haney, these guys. Lee Haney, he figured out like, man, if I drop the intensity and focus on the reps and the squeezing, like a Dexter Jackson, same thing too. You know, like these guys are in it for many, many, many years, and the whole thing is not getting injured. The people who become the best are the people who could go the longest without injury, and the people that do the best are the ones that stay in the game the longest without injury. And that's what I'm going to start trying to do. So after this cut, I'm pretty sure I'm going to switch to 2-a-days. So instead of training, this is my thought process. Okay, if I train my chest and back on the same night, and I put a whole lot of effort in my chest, and I tear it down real good and nice, real nice and good, and then I train my back afterwards, and I train my back, and I tear it down, and I beat it into the ground, doing 6 to 8 sets, or 9 sets, or 12 sets, or 16 sets, regardless of what the set range is. That's a lot of trauma the body has to figure out how to fix and recover for the chest. That's a large muscle. And then a lot of trauma to the back that's going to have to figure out how to fix and repair. So if I train my chest and back together, then I could train them more frequently. But the problem is my body capable of recovering that amount of stress and growing and adapting to it? Or can my body only handle one side of the body or the other to repair and fix the stress I cause and just neglect the opposing side? Like if I train my biceps, triceps, and shoulders together, can my body recover all that area evenly and equally and let it all grow? Or can my body not recover and handle that stress? Now, I'm like, well, train it once a week. Train your chest on one day, then your back on one day. Okay, but now the problem is I'm not getting frequency. So I'm only going to train my chest 52 times a year. So I only have a chance to grow 52 times. The whole concept of DC training is you train your body twice a week, once a week, twice a week, once a week. So instead of only training it 52 times a year, you train it like 76 or 78 or whatever it is, you know, an additional, what 21 times a year or whatever it is. So you gain a third of training volume on your body, have more opportunities to grow. So if I train everything twice a week, that means that I have 104 chances to grow my muscles a year instead of only 52 times a year. But what if I can't recover fast enough training both those body parts together because it's too much trauma, but then I need the frequency to train those body parts often enough to be able to get them to grow? What if this is the key to unlock my upper body's potential, right? I have to train the frequency, and I have to train with the intensity to be able to get what I need. Well, what if the kicker is if I train at 5 a.m. in the morning, and I did 16 sets on my chest, then I had 12 hours of eating and not working out, and then I trained my back in the afternoon, 12 hours later, and then I had 12 more hours to eat and sleep, rest, and recover. So now it's like I stress the body, and it gets 12 hours just to focus 100% on that muscle with amino acids and nutrients and carbs and sodium and everything to repair that muscle. And then 12 hours later, I stress the body part in another area, another body part, and now it has 12 hours just to solely focus on that body part instead of both of them at the same time. And what if your body's not capable of repairing them both at the same time? So it splits the difference and you don't see progress. But you train it once a week and it's what your body needs, but then the frequency isn't there, so your body can't recover. It doesn't have enough stimulus to cause hypertrophy because you're not training it frequently enough. So what if doing 2-a-days is the secret, right? Not for everybody, but for me, because I've never done 2-a-days. I've never trained, let's say, shoulders in the morning and then arms at night, and then chest in the morning and then back at night. And then I'll just I'll probably train like my calves and abs in the morning and then do my quads at night. and then I'll train my calves and abs in the morning, and then my hamstrings at night, because I'm still only going to train my hamstrings and quads once, because whenever I train my quads, my hamstrings are indirectly getting a lot of work. Same thing on my hips and my glutes when I'm doing belt squats and hack squats and stuff like that. And then whenever I'm doing lunges, my quads are getting work on my hamstring night. So they're both getting work, the front and the back of the leg. So what I could do is I could do 3 hamstring movements and put a quad movement, and then I could do 3 quad movements and put a hamstring movement in there. So that way I'm kind of getting 3 in 1 and 3 in 1, and that way they're both kind of getting the same work and stimulus on 2 separate occasions. So the frequency's there. But this is what goes through my head, because I'm trying to think outside the box. Because if you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always had. And I don't want what I've always had. I want something different. I want something bigger. I want something better. So looking at a lot of the old schools, and like with Sam Sulik and all this stuff, doing partial reps after you do full range of motion in your felling, that's awesome. I'll probably put some of those in there. I'll probably put some drop sets. I'll put some rest pause. I'll put some negatives. I just put some straight sets in there. Depending on the movement, what the movement is, how I'm going to go about attacking it. If I'm going to do drop sets, supersets, rest pause, stuff like that. But I got to fill the workout and the routine out first if I do go to this. And then the kicker is, if I'm not doing an hour of cardio no more, those calories that are being consumed on cardio can be consumed on another workout. So it's like, well, these calories that are being consumed from cardio can now be consumed to repair the muscle and cause muscle growth. And then I could decrease the cardio, so the calories being consumed from that will go into my workout. So I'm breaking even. And then I could bring the calories up, so I'm not losing weight no more, but I'm getting the calories I need to maintain the body fat I have while promoting more muscle growth. All about signal. And it's all educated guessing. It's all about guessing. It's all about 100% guessing. You have to make the best educated guess that you can possibly do. And if you don't try something you've never done before, and you keep doing the same thing you've always done before, you're never going to get any more results than what you've already been getting. Now, I know whenever I'm overeating and getting super fat, I know how to get big. You look at the short I just put out about, my results from last year to this year. I was thick and dense, and I had a massive lats and arms and shoulders and chest, and I was big, but I was fat. So I know how to get fat and big with a lot of muscle. But growing the muscle while being lean, or keeping the muscle while leaning out, that's the trick for me. That's what I have to figure out, how to put the muscle back on while keeping the calories low. Because it's easy to put muscle on whenever you're eating 5,000-6,000 calories a day. It's hard to put muscle on when you're eating 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day. It's a fine line, man. It's a fine line you got to walk. You just got to figure it out. And then it's easier to listen to somebody else when they give you advice, and that's why you hire a coach or a personal trainer, because they say, just do this. And you don't have to think about it. And if you fail, it's because they failed you. If you succeed, it's because they led you to success. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about it. But I like thinking about it, because I'm an overthinker. That's what I do. I overthink. And I'm a problem solver. I like trying to figure stuff out. It's like, it's been 30, you're 37 years old. You've been doing this since you've been 14 years old. You suck at this problem. Stop trying to solve it. Let someone else figure it out for you. I'm not going to pay someone to try to figure it out. And I can figure it out, hopefully, maybe myself. There's too much information out there. It's easy to get lost in it. And it's easy to get confused. And it's easy to get baffled by it. It really is. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. So, but I'm going to end the video right here, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to do some yoga tomorrow. I'll probably put it in the video. I got to go to the grocery store. I don't know if I'm going to go tonight or go tomorrow. We'll figure it out. All the same, guys, we're getting closer and closer to the end of this 12 weeks. There's 6 more weeks to go. And it's coming fast. And I just don't feel like I have what it takes not to finish, but to get to where I want to be. I don't think my body's going to do it. I don't think I'm going to hit my goal. I'm getting more grim every day, and it's getting grayer and grayer every day around me, as reality is sinking deeper, its teeth deeper and deeper into me, of reality of this isn't going to happen. You're not going to make it. You're not going to hit your goal. You're still going to be fat, and you're going to have a gut at the end of this, and you're not going to be where you want to be. It's going to take way more than this to get there. you have another probably 3 months after this, 3 months to even get there. So it'll probably be what, August, September, maybe the end of October going into November. Then I can finally start my bulk. Then maybe if that's the case, I'll start my bulk in November, December, January, February, and then starting March, I'll start cutting again. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do 2 days, cut the cardio out, and do 2 days, keep the calories where they are, keep eating exactly what I'm eating, drop the cardio, and start just doubling down on the weightlifting. Maybe that's what I need. Maybe that's what I need. Anyways, so this is official. I am ending the video right here, guys. Thank you for watching, and for real, I'll see you guys tomorrow.